went grocery shopping, and I was hungry when I went grocery shopping, and I inevitably put way too much in my cart than I actually needed to buy just because of hunger.
Mom, get my nuts! Get my nuts!
And while I was at the cash register waiting for the lovely person to scan each of my items and slowly deduct from my bank account,
all around me are familiar faces,
I needed something to distract myself of the harsh reality of the moment, and I came across the National Enquirer. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, but like I always kind of had this weird thing about the National Enquirer growing up. Like there's something that like you just like kind of open up, peruse, look at what the salacious headlines are, and then put it back because you're
a respectable human and you're above that smut.
Well, guess what? I realized I'm not. I can do whatever I want. If I want to buy the National Enquirer and not just peruse it, I will. So I did. So what I thought we would do in this video is for me to just like basically read to you some scandals. Let's gossip, girl. Let's spill the tea, sister. Let's like get into what's going down.
What is the 411? What is the hot gossip?
So being the
Classy adult.
that I am, I read this issue cover to cover, including the back cover, which is an advertisement for steaks. Just so you know, you could get a bunch of meat for only $50. Kind of like what initially caught my eye was the cover of this issue is about the royal family, and particularly how Meghan Markle is evidently a man-eater and has had a secret first husband before the Trevor Ingleson guy or whatever. So she's actually been married twice already, and Harry will be husband number 3, which, like, pause. At the time this article was published, the wedding hadn't aired yet. This was like, oh, Harry is rocked on the eve of wedding. So I got this because I was like, oh damn, she's had another husband before the other guy, which would be pretty crazy if that was actually the case, because I don't know if you guys are like into following like the royal family. The fact that she's a divorcee is pretty dramatic. I think that there have been other people who have been like allowed to marry divorcees, but back when Queen Elizabeth was younger, she did not let her sister, Princess Margaret, marry the love of her life, Peter Townsend, because he was a divorcee, which is just like so sad. But evidently the rules have changed. Queen Elizabeth has chilled out. She's like, I'm 92, y'all do whatever you want. I'm just gonna wear my pastel colors and my fancy hats.
Oh no.
The title is Meghan's secret first husband found. This bombshell claim rocks the entire royal wedding. Just some highlights, just a little nibs from this story. Basically, it's saying at her time, I guess when she was at Northwestern University, she fell in love with some other person who is not named in this article, and his picture is blurred out, and all it pretty much says is that she met him in college and they got married, and then they got their marriage annulled. Also that he lives on the East Coast. So, you know, that's a clue right there. And so then the National Enquirer went to his house somehow, and they found him, and they were like, hey, dude, remember when you were married to her? And he got agitated and flustered, and he later denied the relationship. But yeah, like if somebody came to my door and they were like, in my face about like this evidently relationship that I had with somebody, whether or not it was true, I'd be flustered and agitated as well. Get off my property on the East Coast. How'd you find my East Coast house? I would like to know that. So then the National Enquirer goes to Kensington Palace, and they're like, what do you think about this claim? And they're like, no. This is a complete fabrication. But actually, what was the name of that person again? And they asked the National Enquirer to give them the name of the person, and then Britain's secret agency, Britain's spy agency, MI5, has now bleached Meghan's history and erased all like knowledge or records of this annulment like from her past.
Delete order! Delete order! That's blue, so piggy!
So I don't know if that's true. Honestly, I don't really care. I wouldn't really care if she had gotten married before and gotten that marriage annulled. I didn't care that she was divorced the first time. That's our first story. A story of love, lies, and spies. Sounds like the next like Sandra Bullock movie. Let's move on to something that hits a little bit closer to home.
The Kardashians!
So, as we all know, poor Khloe has been just humiliated by Tristan. Tristan, that you little snaky, shady little snake monster man. We don't like you, okay?
Nobody
does that to poor Chloe days before before her baby was going to be born.
Anyways, so this story is called Lamar to Chloe. I'm off the crack, take me back. We all know what happened between Lamar and Chloe. I mean, they had some trouble in their marriage leading up to 2015 when Lamar overdosed in a brothel, and therefore Chloe's finally like,
You know what? That's the last straw.
poor girl, bless. If that was the last straw, I'm so sorry for all those other straws that must have come before that. That is not okay. Lamar, and I personally don't care if you're off the crack. She's still not getting you back because guess what? National Enquirer says you're still at strip clubs with wads of cash in your hand with alcohols. So just because it's not crack doesn't mean she should take you back, okay? I'm a vote no, Lamar. You do not get a rose this evening. But evidently he was one of the first people to reach out to her when the news about Tristan broke. And he was like, I'll be a father figure to your baby. Also, no, because that's like weird. It's not like Tristan's dead or something. Like he's still alive, and even though he's a nasty goose face poop monster man with a heart full of coal and diarrhea, and nobody loves him.
Nobody likes you.
But he still is biologically the father of a child. So Lamar, no, you can't just be like, you know what, I'll be the dad.
I volunteer as tribute to be the dad.
I don't think that's how it works.
You're not my dad!
A for effort, I guess, but nope, sorry. Anyways, Chloe, BB, you need to keep on moving ahead. You and your new baby gonna be just fine. The next thing I want to talk about is babies and porn. We all know now that Kylie Jenner had her baby, and she named her baby Stormy with an I. So people are drawing a connection between Kylie's new baby Stormy and Stormy Daniels, the porn star, who spells her name ironically in a more classy way, S-T-O-R-M-Y, which is an actual word. Let it be known that the porn star has a legitimate word for a first name, whereas Kylie Jenner has opted for the arguably more porn star-y version of spelling of that same word. Stormy with an I.
Brittany with an I. It's Candy with an I. It's Jenna with an I.
So now evidently Kylie is gonna want, she's like, who wants their baby to be associated with a porn star?
I want a church girl that go to church.
I'm gonna change the baby's name. And also there are so many people in the world that it's literally impossible for you to pick a name that somebody else probably doesn't already have. But sure, go for it. Change the name. I don't care. It'll just be more interesting things for me to read about later. I got tired all of a sudden. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Whoa! These sad shoes are on sale for only $30 per pair.
Plus free shipping.
Check out this earball enhancer. You can get it now for less than $200. Are you worried about falling and not being able to get back up? Me too. With a life alert, you'll never have that worry again.
Help.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Do you have
Arthritis, insomnia, diabetes, asthma, lower back pain, anxiety, headaches, poor circulation?
If you said yes to any, all, or some combination of these, don't worry, you don't need medicine or to see a doctor. You just need this bathtub. Are you tired of struggling on the stairs? Are you tired of climbing up the stairs? Are you tired of falling down the stairs? Are you tired of carrying things up and down stairs? Introducing the affordable Easy Climber elevator. This is just an elevator that you literally can put anywhere in your home and will just cut holes in the floor and the ceiling, and you'll be able to have an elevator wherever you want in your whole home. We'll just cut a hole in your house for you. Oh no! Look at all those whiskers on your face. You're disgusting. You need to shave your face. But shaving your face can be harsh and
Dangerous.
You need Flawless, the instant and painless hair remover.
Now available for likes.
Now let's journey to the world of fashion. Jessica Simpson. What? I don't even care about anything else that is happening in this article. And I guess you're pregnant, but I don't care. What I care about is what are those? Hat, dress, jacket? Where are even your pants? I am so upset. I can't read the words. The words are a blur. I don't even care about your baby, but that's not a dress. That is a lingerie. That is a nighty-nighty. That is a
little baby gown for you and your secret hubby bubby to only see for each other, and I don't want to see it.
And guess what? Do you want to know the worst part of this entire story? She wore it on an airplane. I'm not sure about you, but when I go on the airplane, I'm like thinking it's gonna be cold, there's gonna be peoples around me that I don't want to touch or touch me. I do not wear shorts on airplanes or whatever this dress situation is, because when you sit down and your skirt kind of backs up a bit, if you look at how short this is, there's no way that her butt crack was not on that seat. Like, that is not something you wear on an airplane. That is gross and weird, and I would never want my butt touching a seat where other people's, they sit in the same seat and then your butt crack touches that seat bare.
No!
I hate it. Also, it's usually cold on planes. Also, if you got a jacket on, great, but what about your legs they're gonna get cold? This is the worst. Jessica, 0 points for fashion. What are you even thinking? You call yourself a designer with a fashion line. Disgraced.
Help me God.
Okay, so now let's do some rapid fire stories. Jennifer Lopez, butt model, and Alex Rodriguez, sports guy, have decided to sell a sports hat for $250. Yay, sports! Vanessa Hudgens, Disney Channel star, went to Coachella and got her groove on. Look at those moves. You go, girl. Jane Fonda, heir to Ted's Montana Grill, once told Megyn Kelly that she never had a facelift. Then, later, Jane told other people she did have a facelift. Speaking of facelifts, Brad Pitt is evidently dating this Israeli architect whose face is
Totally natural looking.
and definitely not
Photoshopped onto another person's body by the National Enquirer whatsoever.
Rob Lowe's now the new spokesperson for Publishers Clearinghouse and is inviting us to win it all, plus a new car. Thanks, Rob, you're the best. Bobby Kennedy was not a Kennedy. Jane Seymour and Paris Hilton showed up to the same party on the same night wearing the same dress that looks to have taken its inspiration from a 5-year-old's Valentine's Day card. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for chilling with me while we just had a casual reading of the National Enquirer.
No big deal. Let me know if you like this and if you want to see me read more National Enquirers.
Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to your friends, family.
Your gardener, your dentist, the checkout person at the grocery store.
It's pretty much free and painless for you and means the world to me. So from the bottom of my heart to yours, I will catch you next time. Mwah!
I spelled lipstick in your Valentino.